Hey guys, welcome to E4E, Engineering for Excellence. My name is Rob. Currently, I am in the Columbia University Earth and Environmental Engineering graduate program. I'm in my third semester, and basically today I'm going to be telling you and giving you my greatest advice on how to get into Columbia University's graduate engineering program. This pretty much pertains to any engineering program that you're pursuing, and it also pertains to pretty much any top tier school in the country. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's get to it. Alright, first up, let's talk about the GPA, the grade point average. Now, you're going to have your overall grade point average for your undergraduate curriculum, and then you're going to have your major GPA, which pretty much, let's say you're studying civil engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering. Those are essentially the courses that involve and pertain to those majors. It's not really going to involve, the art classes you take or the writing 101, writing 102. Anything outside of your major won't be accounted for into that major GPA. And in my opinion, the major GPA is more important than your overall GPA. Now, for Columbia University and pretty much all the top tier schools in the country, you want to aim for at least a 3.5 GPA overall. This is an average, right? So if you have like a 3.35, 3.4, you definitely still can get in. But try to aim for a 3.5 or higher to have the best chances. Now, to improve your GPA, the advice I can give you is pretty much, it really just takes time, effort, and dedication and determination. You gotta set aside time to study every single day and put yourself in a learning environment. Studying in your room on your bed probably isn't the best idea because there's a lot of distractions. So I recommend going to the library, kind of leaving everything aside, your phone, any distractions that you have, and just, dedicating a certain amount of time each day to study. Going to your professor's office hours is really great. That helps build strong relationships with your professors, and it really helps you learn and grow as a student. Asking questions in class, asking questions over email. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Questions are great. Always ask a lot of questions. And of course, developing study groups with people you're comfortable with. It's always good to have multiple minds working on the same problem. You can really learn a lot from that. So really, putting in the time, effort, and dedication is important to improving your overall GPA. All right, next up, let's talk about the GRE, the standardized test that you have to take to get into pretty much any graduate school or program. In my opinion, the GRE is actually one of the least important aspects of your application for graduate school. This is simply because, let's talk about the qualitative. First of all, there's tons of words that you're going to have to study and memorize that you've never used before, and that you'll never really use in a sentence or in conversation ever again. This being said, it's definitely important to study. I would allot about a month or so. I mean, it depends on the person really, but a few weeks to really study and memorize the most used words on the GRE. What I did was I looked up the top 200 words used on the GRE and kind of memorized those. And of course, read over some writing passages, learn how to analyze text really quickly and answer questions. Now, the quantitative portion is very important. And of course, if you want to be an engineer, you're going to have to be pretty experienced and well off with math. So I think the average quantitative score for the GRE for Columbia and top tier school is definitely in the 160s out of 170, and this goes for qualitative as well. So if you can score in the 160s for quantitative and qualitative, you're in a really good standing. Now, of course, this is kind of just the average. You can score high 150s and still get in. Don't be discouraged, but really try to do your best, study as much as you can, and aim for the 160s. Even if it's the low 160s, 162, 161, that really puts you in a good standing. All right, next up, I really want to talk about professor recommendations. And this aspect of your application, I think, is really underrated and super critical. Up to this point in your application, pretty much what the reviewer will see is just a bunch of numbers, right? But a recommendation letter is written by someone else, and they're really telling a wholesome story about who you are as an individual and as a student. And I think that's really important. Now, my best advice here is definitely ask professors in your major of interest. If you're studying civil engineering or you want to pursue civil engineering in graduate school, ask your civil engineering professors, your structural engineering professors, transportational, environmental, geotechnical, just professors that really relate to the major and concentration. Now, furthermore, it's really important to develop a strong relationship with your professors before you ask them. If you ask a professor that you've only really talked to a few times, they're really not going to write detailed or really just crucial information about who you are. It's going to be pretty bland and stale. So what I recommend here is go to your professor's office hours, ask them questions, send them emails. Stay after class and ask them questions. Just talk to them. It's really important to develop strong relationships. Do research with them. I mean, Columbia University in general is huge on research, and research looks great on your application as well. It adds experience and knowledge, and potentially you can even write a thesis with your research, which is really, really cool. So I really recommend, like I said, going to office hours, asking questions, spending some time after class with your professors, and even potentially asking them to do research alongside them. That could really develop a strong relationship and lead to them writing a really, really nice recommendation letter for you that could really push you over the edge to getting into your dream graduate school. I also want to say that asking professors who are really well known and respected and admired is really, it can put you over the edge as well. For me personally, I asked the Dean of Civil Engineering, for a recommendation letter. And I did this because I had a few courses with him already. He was my advisor for my senior design project. I knew him very well. And, a lot of the schools in the area knew who he was. So getting a letter from him really meant a lot. All right, let's talk about extracurricular activities. I'm talking about clubs, programs, sports, things like that. Now, it's really important that you choose quality over quantity here. Columbia University and the top tier schools in the country really want to see that you have leadership attributes and characteristics. Basically this means, if you want to join the soccer club, let's say, why not pursue being a captain of the club? Why not hosting some of the practices, some of the meetings, maybe helping the coach out with different things? Being the creator of a club. When I went to school, one of my friends actually created the baseball club, and that looks great. He went out of his way. He loved baseball. He saw that there wasn't a club already. He did the paperwork. He got in contact with the right people, and he founded the actual baseball club, which is amazing. That shows leadership right there. If you're a civil engineer or chemical engineer, go to those clubs that involve those engineering. You'll do a lot of great work, but also pursue maybe being the president of the club, the vice president, the secretary, the treasurer. Just something that shows that you went above and beyond just besides going to the actual meetings every week. That's really important. All right, let's talk about awards and accomplishments. And this kind of ties into research as well. Doing research is really, really important. Not only are you building a really strong relationship with one of your professors, building a really strong connection, but at the same time, you're learning more about your interests, your passions, and you can potentially write a thesis, a paper that's never been written before, talk about something that's never been discovered before. That's really cool and amazing and a great accomplishment. Other things like scholarships, awards from clubs or sports that you're playing are really important as well and look really good too. Something I did was be a part of the Golden Key Society, and I got an award for that. So that was really cool. The more that you can do here, the better. All right, let's talk about experience and skills now. And this is really important as well. Pursuing internships over the summer or even part-time internships over the school year looks really great. And at the same time, you kind of get that professional experience, being in the work environment, being around professionals, being guided by engineers who have tons of experience. It's really valuable, not even just for graduate school, but for life in general. Learning different programs, depending on what engineering you're going into. For me personally, civil engineering, we use a lot of GIS, AutoCAD, sometimes MATLAB, things like that. Learning that at an internship with practical problems and experience is really, really important. So like I said before, with your internships, gaining that professional experience and doing different work, practical work, not just filing or stapling papers for your engineer, your supervisor, but doing actual work is really important for your skill set and will really help you stand out. So that's definitely important as well. All right, last but not least is going to be your personal writing, and pretty much you're going to be asked for any program that you apply for, not just engineering, why you're interested in this program, why you're interested in this field of engineering, And for this, I really recommend sitting down, kind of writing your ideas, thinking about who you were as a person in high school and in your undergraduate curriculum. Why you're pursuing this? Is it just for the money? Is it just because someone told you to do it? It's a great job. Try to really dig deep and find that passion and fire behind why you're doing this. If you're going to graduate school, there's got to be a reason why you really want to pursue more education here, why you want to go to school longer. So sit down, write some ideas down, really think hard about this. They don't want to just hear something bland and unoriginal here. Be passionate, and please don't be the only one that reads your writing. Make sure you have multiple people read over your essay, edit it up. It's so beneficial to have multiple people read over your work. Well guys, that's pretty much what I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or concerns, anything you want to say. I'll be more than happy to respond. And please subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting a lot more content up for you guys, talking about my experiences at Columbia University, my commute, what it's like studying engineering in your undergraduate and graduate programs, as well as different engineering disciplines. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks so much again for watching. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at @TheLurchThisMonster.